Good morning. My name is Paul Barnes. I serve as Dean for the College of Education and Human Sciences, which is home to South Dakota State University's aviation program. We're so pleased you could join us this morning, beautiful morning, to officially break ground to mark the beginning of construction on the new Allen O. Tuntland Hangar. So many people have worked a long time to make this day happen. I'm a newcomer to this effort and very proud and pleased to join such a dynamic group. I wanted to quickly introduce a couple very special guests who are with us this morning. If you would help me acknowledge President of South Dakota State University, Barry Dunn. Thank you. Also in attendance, former President of South Dakota State University, David Sheequin. I wanted to share with you, since I am the newcomer, that I learned a couple lessons very quickly, and that in a nutshell, things happen very, very fast-paced in this program. And a lot of hard work goes behind it, a lot of research, but then things move forward. And I wanted to share with you a couple of emails. We try typically not to share emails, but in this case it might be appropriate. I'll cut out a few names here and there, but I got an email on June 29th, and please pay attention to that date, June 29th, 2021. In quotes, Administrator of Business and Finance is requesting an email confirmation from me to join him and Dennis Hedge, Provost Hedge, and acknowledge that we would support purchasing a second twin engine and leasing it from Maderi Aviation. Now the problem with this is I didn't start working here until July. So I responded and said, I asked a few more questions, and I assure you that it had been well researched, well vetted, and they were just ready to go. And so I responded on that afternoon that I really have no standing to approve anything until July 6th when I start working for the university. Then I thought I'd better check with the boss, my provost, Dennis Hedge, who's also here today. And I said in a related arrangement, this is just an excerpt, it was suggested that SDSU Aviation buy two single-engine planes from Maderi that we currently lease. I could approve this on July 6th when I officially start, but experience would tell me that approving an aircraft purchase on day one might be bad practice. Thoughts or suggestions? Well, I had a nice response that indeed I was assured everything was in place and they were ready to grow. And that has been a theme since I started. So I knew I was joining a fast-paced organization. So it is a great honor for me as a newcomer to stand before you today, and although I have not yet had the chance to meet Al and Sharon Tuntland, I am fully aware of their impact on this program. Al and Sharon talked about making the lead gift for this project, and Al asked if he could have a small plaque somewhere inside. The foundation's leadership thought Al deserved more than that, so they asked the university what it would take to put Al's name on this 13,260 square foot hangar. With their answer in hand, it took just a dozen calls in less than a week for the foundation to reach their goal. And these donors to the project are listed on the back of this program. If you would please give them a thank you. So approving a plane on day one was lesson one. Showed me how quickly things can move, and the pace at which the foundation got this done was lesson number two. And so thank you to Steve and Kelly and Tim and Keith, who are all here, I believe. Thanks for your hard work in making that happen as well. Lesson three is that the speed at which the donors and friends stepped forward told me that Al and Sharon were very special people with very special and generous friends. So thank you for being here to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Allen O. Tuntland Hangar. This is the result of a great partnership between the college, the university, the foundation, and the Board of Governors. I want to thank special partners that have helped design and build it. Mills Construction is the general contractor. I believe we're joined by Randy Hansen, Paul Saar, Brandon Peets from Mills Construction. JLG Architects designed the facility, and JLG is represented by Lynn Remmers and Dave Van Nieuwenhuizen. If we could give them a round of applause. I would also be remiss if I did not recognize and thank the Facilities and Services unit of South Dakota State University who made this event happen today, but have also been very instrumental. Jonathan Meandering in particular has been very instrumental and heavily involved in the planning of this hangar, so thank you to that group as well. With a few remarks about the history of this program and how we arrived at today's special celebration, I would like to invite to the microphone a veteran of the program and someone I consider to be a key to much of our success, Dr. CODY Christensen. CODY?
Thank you for the opportunity this morning to speak on behalf of all the students in SDSU Aviation. My name is CODY Christensen, and I've been involved with the program for a number of years. The aviation program has a long history here at SDSU and in South Dakota, dating all the way back to the 1930s. In 1999, we started what we now know as a Bachelor's of Science in Aviation degree. The new location of the Tuntland Hangar is on the very spot of one of the first hangars here at the Brookings Airport, when it moved from its location down by the soccer fields. When I joined the program in 2001, we only had 6 aircraft. We operated out of one small hangar. And when I took over program coordinator duties from my mentor, Jeff Bower, in 2014, we had a plan to go from 65 students to 80 students with the goal of 120 students by 2020. Through a robust job market, increased salaries, active recruitment, and great public partnerships, private partnerships like this one, we knew that we had the opportunity to grow. I'm happy to report that now we have over 180 students and 15 airplanes and counting. One of the most impactful parts of being part of this program is seeing the phenomenal work ethic of our flight instructors, who really are the heartbeat of SDSU Aviation. They are airborne before sunrise, and they stay late into the evenings to get the work done. We have student soldiers who drill all weekend and then come fly on Sunday evenings. We have flight instructors who themselves are in classes, and in between their classes fly with additional students. We even have a student among us, number 97 Cole Fromm, who kicked 2 field goals on Friday night and was 6 for 6 for point after touchdowns, and was still here Monday morning at 7:30 for his first flight. In the past, our flight instructors might have had to reposition 4 or 5 airplanes in order to get the aircraft out. This new facility will mean our flight instructors will have easier access to airplanes, will get more time in the air, and be able to get more things done in each flight block. Graduates of our flight program typically instruct for 1 year before they move on to carriers such as SkyWest, Air Wisconsin, United, Delta, FedEx, and UPS, just to name a few. They also fly for the Air National Guard, Army Guard, Air Force, Army, and Marines. Even though our students fly all around the world, many of them are drawn back to South Dakota State and call South Dakota home, including our many air ambulance pilots located in Sioux Falls, Pierre, Aberdeen, Rapid City, and here in town. We truly are ambassadors for SDSU all around the world. The work that Al started today with the foundation really has been one of the linchpins for the success in our program. The opportunities that were presented today will allow us to continue to support the needs of the program, provide pilots and aviation educators across the state, and continue the land grant mission of SDSU. This hangar will more than double our current facilities space and relieve pressure on our current hangar. This will allow for collaborations, innovation, and continued partnerships with those that have supported the program since the inception, much like Al has done since he graduated SDSU. We are grateful for Al's gift and look forward to using the Tuntland hangar for many years to come. Thank you.
Certainly thank CODY for those remarks and the history. Very fascinating, the growth, and explains a lot about how we got here. A lot of people involved over a long period of time. Our next guest to the microphone is Mr. Jim WOSTER. He is one of Al Tutland's oldest and dearest friends. They met during college, and their friendship has only grown over the last 60 years. We could think of no better person to speak on behalf of Al and Sharon at today's groundbreaking. Please welcome Jim WOSTER.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to be here, and obviously to represent a guy that I've known for an awful long time. And I mean this sincerely. I think next to Alan's God and his family, flying, aviation, airplanes, it would be his third love. The guy absolutely loved to fly from the first time that I met him. And if I could, I'd just tell you a quick story that he told me years ago about his first plane trip. And I think it says it all about telling, probably about a lot of young kids that want to fly. His father, Olaf, was a cattle guy. He had a stockyards business, a commission firm down the stockyards. They lived on a farm just west of Brandon. He owned a ranch at Keapaha, South Dakota. Probably the only person in the audience that's been to Keapaha as the president. But it was a beautiful ranch, and he normally drove, but 2-3 times a year he would fly if business was busy and he just wanted to get out there. When Alan was 12, and he flew out of Lennox, a guy named Marv Ski. When Alan was 12 years old, Olaf decided it's time to take him along to the ranch. And Alan said, "Now you pilots forgive me." He said, "So we're sitting there." He said, "Marv's here, Dad's here," and he's sitting back here in a Cessna 210B, if I've got that right. And he said, "I'm sitting there, you know," he said, "I'm a 12-year-old kid, never been inside a plane before." And he said, "The motor's kind of idling and it's just quivering just a little bit." And I'm looking out at the ground, and he said, all of a sudden, the motor starts to get louder, and the plane starts to do a little bit of this, and we start to move, and I'm looking out at the ground, and he said, "I'm just getting so excited." He said, "I really think, I'm sorry, Buzz, I'm gonna wet my pants. I'm just I can't stand." And he said, suddenly we are clear of that airstrip. We're off the grass, and he said, the gears clanging and rattling, and he said, I hollered to my dad, "I'm gonna be a pilot." Well, every 12-year-old is going to be a pilot, but I'll tell you what, 4 years later at age 16, Alan took lessons at Zangers in Larchwood, and he got his license, and you know the rest of the story. For goodness, Keith, for what, 60 years, pretty near that he flew airplanes, and just loved her. Very quickly, I was telling one of the guys down there, if you flew with him, he'd give his pre-flight, get buckled up and sit here, and Jimmy, you go back here. But the last thing he'd say, and remember everybody, 9 out of 10 make it. And then away we would go, you know, so that was his, for Alan Tuntland to be a part of something that ties South Dakota State and aviation together with the same yellow and blue bow, I can't tell you just how special that is to him. I mean, this is his love. It really is. And so, very simply, on behalf of Alan and Sharon and the daughters, Kristen, Sarah, and Meredith, thanks you so much. Thank you so much. And from Alan, God bless y'all.
Thank you for those wonderful remarks. We have a few other special guests we'd like to acknowledge, and then we'll get to the fun part of the program. I don't know if they're here. If you could wave. We have 2 leaders of our student organizations we would love to acknowledge. Callie Benson is president of Women in Aviation. This is a student organization. Great, thank you, Callie. And also former president of the Flying Jacks, Michael Stilson. Well, and as I hinted at, now it's time to turn some dirt, as they say, which will symbolize the start of this new project. For this, we're going to be joined by Eric and Thomas Boulware. As CODY referenced, their father, Jeff, helped build our aviation program as well. We lost Jeff to cancer in 2015, and Eric is currently a student in our aviation program. So we have a lineup for the groundbreaking, which is directly towards the sign. And so if President Dunn, Director Kendra Cattleman, Jim Wooster, CODY, Eric, Thomas, Callie, and Michael, we're going to make those shovels work. If you would all join us, we're going to share and get that done. So thank you. CODY, you want to give us